Ngosi Talk Shows family, is Nomsa here at Ngosi Talk Shows. Find your own voice, lead from within. So I'm on my own today, guys, and I will just ask if you could pray for Carol Ann. She is still in a hospital, and really she needs some prayers. She is recovering, but the doctors have told the family that it's just gonna be a miracle for her to recover, but we believe in miracle, so which is good. So we just want to send love in that ICU so she can be moved to a different ward where no scary ward, or just go home. So if you guys, you're Carol Ann's fan and you're watching this video, please pray for her. And Ngozi Talk Shows, we just want her to go home. Hospital is not where she belongs. Like today, we're talking about the foundation of her life. I don't think it has the hospital in it. It's just, we just want you, I'm just asking on behalf of everyone at Ngozi Talk Shows, if you guys can put in prayers and just send the angels of God to actually intervene in her life. And so our topic today is how to build a strong foundation for life. In today's fast-paced world, it is more important than ever to build a strong foundation for life. A solid foundation provides stability when it comes to your life. It provides and provides stability, and it empowers us to navigate through any challenges that comes our way. So how do we actually deal with the foundation of life? Because in this world things can be really, really tough. So how do we deal with that? So it's very, very important to know how to deal with the foundation of life. Number one, you need to understand yourself. Once you understand yourself, then you can build life, the foundation based on how do you believe to be true about yourself. And then the next one that I'm going to cover is self-awareness. So it's very, very important to be aware of who you are, and also it's very, very important to understand our values and our principles. Is very, very important to build a resilience when it comes to life. The importance of grit, understand that, and facing diversity. You need to be able to face diversity. You need to be able to understand your strength, your weaknesses. You need to be able to understand the developing mental toughness. If you are somebody who does exercises, let's say you do activities, physical exercises, you will know what it means to develop mental toughness, like in athletics. So they have to develop, anyone that is into sports, in order for them to win any game, in order for them to be able to cope with a weak mentality, you wouldn't be able to win the game. You wouldn't be able to get up in the morning and do exercises that can take your life to the next level. If you are an athletic, or if you are a sports person, like this professional, they have to develop a mentally toughness. So for me, in order for me to play the football on the pitch, my mindset has to be different. My mentality had to be different. Meaning when I'm in pain, I wake out. Means when I don't feel like it that day is where I have to wake out more. It means when everybody else is turning against me, or when things don't make sense, But on that training, they have to make sense. I have to stay focused. That's when you develop your mental toughness, it means you stay focused in everything you do in life. You stay focused regardless of what. So that is very, very, very important if you want to build the foundation of your life. And the other one is nurturing relationships. When we learn to nurture relationships, we're building a foundation that is going to play a part in our children, in their children, in our grandchildren. So it's very, very important. And also the power of connection. So once we build the foundation, we have to know how to connect with people. The people that we connect with in our lives, they play a very, very important part when it comes to, when it comes to our foundation. So it's very, very important that we learn to connect with people that are not destroying our lives. We connect to not people that are fake either. We need to learn to connect with people that add value to our lives and destinies, because our destiny is very, very important. So you need to, when you're dealing with the foundation, also the power of connection. I've mentioned that the power of communication is very, very important to learn how to communicate. Boundaries, respect, and respect is a very, very important. Lifelong learning, the importance of continuous of education. When I'm talking about education, I'm not talking about going to learn a degree or to study a degree. The continuous power of learning, it means you have to update yourself, your mind, learn the skills. Whatever you do in life, whatever you become, learn that skills. Whether it's a relationship, have the skills, learn yourself, develop yourself, and the importance of continuously finding passion in learning as well. So it's very, very important adapting to change when things don't make sense. When when we build the foundation, it means when things don't make sense, we have to build that beautiful foundation. And financial wisdom, our foundation, we have to put finances, basic of money management and saving, investment. So those are the things that they play a really, really big part in order for us to build a foundation. And the other thing for me that plays a really, really big part in my life is the power of connecting with God. So it's very, very important when I'm building my foundation. It begins with, because we have this thing where building a foundation, it means the foundation is everything. It's in our lives, how we deal with finances, how we deal with the life as a whole, is the umbrella of everything. Everything we do, it goes to that foundation, and it will play a part in it will play a part in whatever our ancestors, the life that they have lived. That foundation, it plays part in 5 generations. Their family, how they lived, their foundation, it will affect that generation and our generation. However they lived, if they like maybe our parents, our grandparents, however they lived, it will affect this generation, which is my generation, my mother and my father's generation, and how they lived. That means it will affect my generation. So I didn't take this. The reason why I took this topic, this thing with the foundation, I didn't take it very, very serious in my life. And I was like, okay, I'm building life, I'm creating goals, creating dreams, and celebrating my goals, celebrating my dreams, and not really realizing that the foundation of my life is also important to deal with my foundation. So what I did, like yesterday, I went to church. we had deliverance, and we still have it today. So when I went to church and I fill out the form, so I was like, okay, this is the form that I'm filling. Okay, so the questions that are being asked, I was like, I'm coming to church for deliverance. Why asking these deep questions? Now I'm asking myself these deep questions. I'm like, I've never thought of this in my foundation. So the questions that they were asking is the life, the path where I've been walking, who have I been associating with, who have I come across with, and the things that like maybe like, let's say if I have associated with this or I have associated with that, so I was like, wow, these are the things that I've never really asked myself questions of these. Like I've never really taken notice of the things that I do that they can actually play a part in my family, they can play a part in my generation, in my bloodline, and also the path that my parents took, that in that path it could affect our generation, and the path that their parents took, and that journey, who they met, who they associated with. So I've never really thought about all those things, like the wealth that they had, how they made that wealth. I've never really asked so many questions. So I was left with so many questions yesterday, like to answer, and I was like, I set goals. I'm learning by when I read books. I read books about setting goals, making sure that I create a good habit, making sure that I take action, making sure that I do what I said I will do, and set up 1 year goals, 2 year goals, and 5 year goals. But I've never really take like deep think about who enters my life, who I'm associating with, and all those things is the things that I have never. We talk about the environment, of course, the environment of life, the people that we hang out with. We have to be aware of them. So when we talk about when that form made me go deep to say, who have I visited? Have I visited a witch doctor? My life, or maybe somebody who does readings if I read horoscopes, and I'm checking the horoscope, like how do horoscopes affect your life, and have I visited there was list, like so much list, like if I visited this one, if I visited this one. I was like, I've never thought of these things that they can actually affect my life. So that's why I chose this topic today, to talk about this foundation of life, how important this foundation is to our generation, to our lives, self-awareness. So self-awareness is very important. When we are aware of who we are, understanding the ongoing process of self-awareness, and it can help us make conscious decisions. It can help us prioritize our personal growth, dedicate a regular time for self-reflection, no matter how busy life gets, and which is it can help us to actually find mindful, meditate, like myself, prayer, which is, I love God. So if I love God, in order for me to connect with God, I have to pray. And also having methods in life, focusing on your breathe, and all breathing and all these things. If we meditate, mindfulness is very important. And journaling is very important, and journaling regularly is very important, because when you journal regularly, you're communicating with yourself. You get to say what's on your mind. If you journal things and then you read it back, you'll be surprised with what you find when you when you read back to you. So it's very, very important in your foundation that be aware of things. Very, very important to be aware of who enters your life. So those things, and also ask feedback. It's very, very important to ask feedback, because when you ask feedback, that means you get to actually, when you ask feedback, you get to live the life that you want. That's very, 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 very important to actually do all those things. And the other thing that I actually learned, that actually made me actually do this topic, like when you're actually aware of what is going on in life, you're able to actually create the life that you want. So the other second thing is, after self-reflection, is identity, your values. Identifying your values, not identity. Identifying your values is very, very important. Understanding principles. When we say identify your values, it means you have to work on your principles, how you make decisions, and your behavior towards life, and also understanding our values. Is it family freedom? Our values, is it love? Is it success? So you can narrow down. So some people, they define their values very differently. So you have to be able to identify your values. So my values for me is family and freedom, having freedom into my life, where I can, like with my work, I can do the things that I want to do. I have this freedom where if I want to do something, I can just get on with it and do it. So it's very, very important to reflect like on your values. If you want to work on your values, reflect on your past decisions, and also check if those values align with the journey that you want to take in life. So it's very, very, very important. And also analyze your strength and weaknesses. It's very, very important to actually work on your strength, recognize your strength and your weaknesses. When we do that, we are not doing it because we want to judge ourselves or because we want to tell ourselves that we are not good enough. We do these things because we want to change in our lives. We do it because we want to make sure that the foundation of our lives is strong. So we deal with our weaknesses, and then where there is strength, we grow through that strength. The strength will help us to grow. So it means we have to recognize our talent, and we have to recognize the areas that needs improvement. Once we consider all those things, we find that strength, then that's the foundation that has been created. So we know that through this, on that strength, we're strong now. So then we can actually deal with the things that we want to deal with. And then the other thing, the fourth one, is explore your past. Exploring your past is very, very important. For me, to explore my past is, some people might get confused. Exploring my past, what I did was I had to look at my dad. What kind of a life did he live as a human being? And then I had to look at my mother, my mom's side, my mom. What kind of a life did my mother lead as a human being? Is there any foundation that I need to sort it out, cut off any cords that I need to cut off that are now being familiar with the character of my mom? Yeah, coming through that character. Is that character coming through me now, or the character of my father? Is that character coming through me now? So I had to cut those cords in order for me to live my life. And when you do that, it's like maybe if I put it as a childhood attachment. But for me, when I'm saying evaluating the past, it means we have to go deep in order for us to become the person that we want to become. We have to look at that foundation, and we have to explore the past. How did we live in that past? Maybe with our parents, maybe with our jobs, or who did we meet that person, and what the part that that person played in that part, without blaming. So when you evaluate your past, you're evaluating your character and finding your true self. Who am I as a person? And there is the foundation, and you're also looking at your foundation. It's very, very, very important to actually make sure that everything, when you reflect, we reflect on our beliefs, our behavior, our values. It's very, very important to actually look at the experiences of our past. And then once we look at the experiences of our past, that means that that foundation, that layer has been dealt with. So then we go into defining our goals now. When we're defining our goals, it means I have analyzed my past. I've explored my past. Now I understand who I am as a person. And now I'm going to create my goals. And my goals, do I want to live in poverty? No, it means I've analyzed my past. I've realized that in order for me to break free from poverty, to break free from pain, to break free from rejection, to break free from being the one that is like attracted to problems, being the one that is fearing to do things, that when I do things, or maybe you're somebody who doesn't finish things, you start project and you don't finish. That means there's a foundation that needs to be dealt with. So we need to make sure that all that is dealt with in order for us to be able to deal with, define our goals. Once we achieve, we define our goals, then now we have to decide what do we want to what do we want to achieve in the areas that we have selected, in those different areas of our lives. And then break it down into small chunks. Once you break things down into small chunks, then you are able to define short goals, long-term goals, reflect on the why behind that goal. So once you define why you've created that goal, this can reveal a deeper desire and motivation. So once you know your big why, for me, my big why, it was I came to the UK for a change. And coming to the UK for a change, and now I have my family. And I don't want my children to live in poverty. I don't want my children to have a life that don't make sense. So I come from Africa. My family are very educated. And so I wanted to build a life for my children and also for myself. So my big why is for me to be able to provide for my children, to be able to have that, like I said from the beginning, that freedom. So if I need to have a freedom in life, it means that I need to look at my foundation of my life. Once I look at my foundation of my life, then I have to create, I have to remove every layer. There are negative layers. When it comes to foundation, there are negative layers. If you look at Bill Gates is a billionaire. So in order for him to be where he is now, he is a billionaire, he had to listen to his winning spirit man, which is inside of him, that he can create goals. And by creating goals is how he started. He started working in the basement with his friends until he created his company. There are some people that he approached in the process that didn't believe in him, but he believed in himself. And he believed in his talent, his abilities. So in that foundation, when we look at the foundation of our lives, we look at the fear that has been planted in that foundation. We look at the things that can cause stagnation for us moving forward. So all those things, and then we look at our abilities, confidence-wise. We look at the decisions, how we make decisions. We look at our behaviors. If I say, I want to be a millionaire. Okay, Nomsa, you want to be a millionaire, you want to be a billionaire. So what does your character say about becoming? Does your character align with a billionaire or a millionaire? Your image, your authenticity. Are you authentic enough to have the courage to face? Because if you want to be a millionaire, you want to be a billionaire, unapologetic, you are going to have to make a decision not to listen to people that say you cannot succeed in life or you cannot do the things that you want to do. It means you have to make a decision based on what God has for you, has planned for your life, for your destiny. So that's why you need to do, not making decisions based on people telling you that, no, you cannot do that. And you listen. So a millionaire, it does not listen, it gets a mentor. A millionaire has to have a mentor to mentor them to become who they want to become. A billionaire has to have a mentor. They have to have courage. They have to have they have to believe in their abilities. They have to believe in their talent. They have to work on their fears, go through their fears and work on them. So those are the things that you have to look at in your foundation. If you need to succeed in life or get married, what foundation in my marriage? That, like, if I say I want to get married, I'm a woman who wants to get married. I need to look at my character. I need to look at my past. Looking at my past, I'm not blaming myself. I'm not blaming anyone. I am just looking at the wounds. Is there any wounds that are still attached to me? Is there any trauma that is still attached to me that can block me living a life, finding that special person and live a happy life? So can I deal? If there is, means I'm looking at my foundation, I can deal with it. Then once I deal with it, then I can go and find the love of my life without any baggage. So everybody is a baggage, but we have to deal with that baggage before we go. That's what we call it, foundation of life. It means you have to look at your career, look at your relationship, look at everything around you that actually that creates a foundation. So those are the things that you, when you define your goals in your foundation, that is number 5. So in number 6, we come to seek feedback. When we are seeking feedback, bear in mind, when you seek feedback, there are people that are going to tell you that your dreams are not enough. Your dreams are too big. So we are not seeking feedback from those people who don't believe in us. We seek feedback in people that believe in us, that want us to become something, so that we can, once we seek feedback and we get feedback, we can, that feedback, that if we see that it aligns with the way we need to go, then we can deal with it. Then it goes under the foundation of life. So that means we are good to go. So find somebody that can give you honest feedback when it comes to life, your life. And once they give you an honest feedback, maybe if there are areas where you need to improve, then you can improve so you can get where you need to be. And also listen to your inner being. Listen to your winning spirit man. When you listen, a winning spirit man is a Holy Spirit that guides you through. It's not a Holy Spirit. A winning spirit man is your subconscious mind, a spirit that guides you through. We have body, soul, and spirit. Mind, body, soul, and spirit. So when the mind is destroyed, when the soul is destroyed, when the spirit is destroyed within you, you wouldn't be able to do the things that you want. That's why you see people, they get sick, they get so many things because of the soul. The mind, it comes from me, and the head. The head is the symbol of our destiny. This chest, it represents the soul. So once this is dead, is dead. So the soul and the spirit, body, mind, soul, and spirit. So now we're looking at the soul and the spirit. So that inner winning spirit man is the spirit where God has given you the blessings. The winning, like let's say I go for interviews. How does that happen with the interviews? If I pass the interviews, there are some people who go for interviews and they struggle to get a job. Sometimes it is the foundation of life. I was listening to my pastor yesterday. I got to MFM, by the way, by Dr. Olukoya. So I listened to my pastor yesterday when we were doing deliverance, and he goes, whenever there is a problem in your foundation, when you approach people about something, the people are not going to see the real you. They're going to see the problem. That problem, you will speak to them. So it means if I don't have confidence, if I fear, I'm going for interview. If there is part of me that is not in that interview, it means they can pick it up. And that fear can communicate with the person that is interviewing me. So he was saying you have to deal with all those things. Like if you feel those part of things, they are part of life. Like if you feel that they are part of your life, so you can deal with them and deal with fear. And Christians, you know how you deal with things, you can deal with the strong men. Sometimes it is the powers of our father's house or the powers of our mother's house, where we come from, that can say there is how far you can go. Like the strong man can actually stop you moving forward. They can tell you that in your father's house, the strong man that can tell you that there is how far you can go. So you will need to understand where your family, where they come from, the roots of your family is very, very important in order to succeed. It's very, very important in order to succeed in life, to be able to succeed and become the person that you want to become. Build that beautiful foundation means self-awareness, be aware of your family, what they got up to. For me, I had to fill the documents in church yesterday before deliverance. So the document was asking me, like I said in the beginning, it was asking me if any member of my family has ever visited a witch doctor, or have I ever visited a witch doctor in my life. A witch doctor, it means, or Sangoma, those who are coming from South Africa. Have you ever visited a Sangoma, or have you ever visited, what do you call it? I don't know, is witch doctor a medium? Or have you ever visited a medium? Those things can affect, because they consult the dead. So if you are a Christian and you visited a medium, mixing things up, and those are things can affect the foundation. Most celebrities, they like to experience things. They like to go to witch doctors. They like to go into a cult, you name it. So that document was asking me if I have ever been into this, I've ever been into this, because all these things, it can affect the foundation of your life. Like, it can affect your children as well. So when I asked myself, now I'm going deep. And the other one, it was asking if you have ever met Lucifer, which is myself personally. I have met Lucifer, and I didn't know that it could affect my life. So that means that there is a part of it that is affecting my life. So I left and I put a note that I need following up, because I need to understand what it means to meet Lucifer. But for me, I know that I met him because of the person that I am, and he wanted to recruit me to be part of his kingdom, so I can be used. There are some big prophecies. We have to speak the truth. There are some really, really big prophecies out there who use God's name, but they are not really for God. They work for Lucifer. So he wanted me to become one of his biggest prophets on earth, because of my abilities. So that's how we met. So I said no. But he's saying no, I didn't know that I was creating. He showed up, God showed up, and Lucifer showed up. So he gave me this. He gave me the options of life. Nomsa could give you this. It means he could give me everything that I wanted, being a celebrity for doing nothing. So it means he can actually give me, if I wanted to be like famous on YouTube, have millions and millions of followers, and be a big pastor, have a big church, like 4,000, 5,000 people in that church, he can make that happen. So I said, what's the catch for me? What's in it for me? Is death. He doesn't play. You don't play with the devil. So I was like, no, thank you. But then I chose his father. I chose God. So when I was filling the forms yesterday, those were the questions that they were asking. So I realized that, okay, now I have Lucifer in my family foundation, which I need to deal with this. So it didn't end there. So I'm not going to go into details. They tortured me. You don't say no to the devil and live a happy life ever after. It means saying no to the devil. It means a torture. So he tortured me in every area of my life, where he wanted me to give up and say yes. So I can say yes. I said no. No means no. So I let him torture me. I let him belittle me. Like sometimes, if he knows that I'm smart in something, like when I meet somebody, he will make them belittle me. But if I have chosen God, it means when somebody is belittling me, it means nothing. So I have to stay with my character. I have to understand my values. So, but I did in that part. I did win that part, but it's tough. It was tough. So it means the foundation of my children, the foundation that I have created for my children. Now I know that it is with God. So I know that my children, when they die, they are guaranteed to go to heaven, depending of their lifestyle. If they live a lifestyle where, because we all have a choice in life, they might make different choices, build their foundation differently. So it's up to them, but I have given them a good foundation of life. So all those things that I didn't know that it plays a part in my foundation. So I was like, this is very interesting. So I need to know more about it. But on YouTube, I did follow up, like see people that who have agreed to work with Lucifer, who actually served him for years. What they're saying is no good. Whether you choose to work for him, he doesn't care about anybody. You still torture you anyway to get what he wants. His job is to kill, to destroy, to steal, and that's all he does. So he doesn't care about a human being, because that's why he's called a Lucifer. So that's when I had to understand my foundation, how my foundation looks like. And now I had to ask myself now, was my dad, did any member of my family get involved in this thing? Why was he like connected? I knew why he wanted to get hold, why he got hold of me. I knew the reason why anyway. So I didn't have to ask myself that question. But now I had to deal with him. And I had to deal with the renouncing everything. Like if there is anyone in my family who is serving occult, who is into secret society. So I had to renounce that, because I want my foundation to represent God. So those are the things that you need to ask yourself. And when you are building your foundation, self-awareness, once you have feedback from the people that are honest, continual learning. Life is all about learning is continuously. I'm not saying go to university or go to college. You can take modules, learn about the job, whatever you want, or if you're working, you want promotion, continue learning that promotion, that job, so you can get to the next level. Or if you are into business, continue learning into that business. Commit to the journey where you need to be. And also it's very, very important to take a personality and strength test. Who is the I'm going to have a look, and then I'll attach to the personality test. Who is this man that does personality test? I think the psychology, if you go to what is that? It's the module that I'm doing now, actually. Who is that? Who is the author of the Big Five? So if you go into psychology, I think the Big Five, I think they have a personality test where you can take. Who by I will remember, and then I will let you know. Mostly is, you can just personal and intelligent. If you type a personality and intelligence, and then it will come up, and then it will give you the options where you can do the test about your weaknesses and your strength. You can once you do that, you can just I think they'll send you some of it. They will send you the results straight away, or some they'll ask you to put your email address. Once you do that, and then you can work on your personality and your strength. For me, working on my personality and my strength, it was all about asking God. How I met Lucifer, I had to fast for 40 days. 40 days fasting, and I was fasting from midnight to 6 p.m., 6 p.m. or 5 p.m. I can't remember every single day. So if I fast midnight, I'll break my fast at 6 p.m. the following day. Like right now, we have just fasted for 70 days, MFM. And you can join us next year if you're watching. It's a very, very powerful program where people around the world, they'll fast for 70 days from September. Is it August? From August till October. So we finish on Sunday. 70 days we finish on Sunday. So today is my 68. day of fasting. Tomorrow it will be 69. And then on Sunday, it will be 70 days. For me, for my personality, I didn't need to do a test online. It was all about me fasting for 40 days and surrendering. This is for Christian, and surrendering to God and saying, God, show me the person that I'm supposed to be. Show me my personality, bring out my personality, and asking the Holy Spirit to speak to me, to show me who am I supposed to be, my original self. Because sometimes we let problems take over. Once the problems take over our lives every day, the personality changes. You don't become the original anymore. You become the personality that is controlled by problems, because you can't be happy. You'll become miserable, and everything you do will be miserable. So it's very, very, very important to make sure you check your personality and your image. Your authentic self as well is very, very important. For me, it was also fasting, asking God, show me my true self. But my true self, that it was the Nomsa that was when I was born. Until the age of maybe 16. Then problems started taking over. When you're 16, you go to college. And when you go to college, you start, some people, like in Africa, some people, they start work. You start meeting people, become a teenager. You start getting into relationship, and you lose yourself. Because of problems, trying to fit in with people, trying to please everybody. And so all those things, they're taking over my personality. So through that 40 days, it was me asking God to show me the person that I am supposed to be, so I can plant a good foundation in my life. So, and then my personality came out, and I wasn't surprised, but it really, really shocked me, because it was the person that it was me, Nomsa, when I was a child. So that was personality started coming out. I was wearing trousers. I hate trousers. I do not like trousers. But when I moved to the UK, I started wearing trousers and I was enjoying them. But when I started fasting and praying for that, through that 40 days, I realized actually I love wearing dresses. That's what I love. I love beautiful dresses. Go and buy me a nice, beautiful fitted dress. I love it. So I was like, I don't really like it. There are some things I was doing that I didn't really like. And there are some things that I liked and that I stopped doing. Like when I was in Africa, I love swimming. In my foundation, there's swimming, but I'd stopped swimming because, life takes over. I used to swim every single day in Africa, but when I came to the UK, life takes over. Support your family. You want to see your family, they're happy, so you want to send money, means you have to work overtimes. So those are the things that in my foundation that I needed to get rid of. So in my foundation, I needed to get rid of, when we come to the UK, we come to change our lives, but there is this thing where African people do, and another foreigners do. When they come here, most of the people that are not doing it is Indian people. Indian people, they come here, they educate themselves, they do completely jobs that they do the jobs that they would do if they were in India. But the Africans and other people that come from outside, or Filipino, or whatever the countries are, when they come here, is the jobs that they do is either factory jobs, care jobs, and the other jobs that people do. So for me, it was asking God, my talent, who am I supposed to be? I didn't want to work in care. I would have worked in care if it was actually my talent. I wouldn't mind if God says, Nomsa, your talent is to be a nurse or is to be a care, to be working care. I would do it. but that's not my talent. God showed me that my talent is either acting industry, music industry, sports industry, or I'm a sports person, or either psychology, helping people, counseling, or what else was it that I started realizing? Or I can be a lawyer. I love challenge. I'm very fascinated by what creates a human being, what creates the person, what makes people do the things that they do. Like, I love the challenge. So if I was to become a lawyer, I'll be a good lawyer. Really, really a good lawyer. So those were the things that God showed me that this is the person that I could become. And also speaking, I love life. I love personal development. I'm fascinated about the world, how the world works. Or the other thing that Lucifer wanted me for is becoming a pastor. I do at becoming a pastor. But at this moment, I think I'm happy with God. So far, I'm getting away with, I'm crawling, I'm learning things. Maybe one day I'll have my church. I don't know. But if I was to have a church, that will have to be under Dr. Olukoya, because he's a very a good general overseer. Maybe one day I might do that. I don't know. So those were the foundation when I started asking deep, asking God, who am I supposed to be? But the reason why I'm bringing this subject is that there's quite a few African people who come here, they ask themselves who they are, and either they go to nursing because they're dedicated. Some some people, like 70% of Africans, they take jobs because it pays well and because all their friends are in that industry. So for me, it was facing my God and saying, God, I need to build my foundation. But for me, in order to build my foundation, I need to be able to understand who I am as a person, because I didn't know who I was. I got lost. But when I was young, I loved being on stage. I spent time on stage. My granddad taught me. I used to practice singing from the age of 8. I'll go to bed at 12 or 1 a.m. I'll go to school. After I come back to school, I will eat, wash up, and then by 8, I'll meet up with everyone and my granddad. We'll practice music until 1 a.m. and 12 a.m. I'll go to sleep and then get up in the morning and go to school. So that was my life. And then when I became a professional musician when I was 10 years old, I think, or 10 or 9 or 11, I can't remember. I loved being on stage. But when I came here, I went to take music school. I continued with my music, but I played football, professional. And after that, when I retired in 2009, I was like, okay, now I need to find something that I can carry on, but something that I love to do. What can I do? I was working into care for 1 year. And I look at the job, I was like, that's not me. But now, when I started, it was the time I was going through the divorce. The divorce is in my foundation, was in my foundation as well. So is that I had to deal with because my mom divorced my dad. So that means that the problem is carrying on into another generation. So I had to cut that. When I cut that by fasting for 40 days and saying to God, I don't want to be the person that I am. I need my original self. So when I ask for my original self is when Lucifer showed up and his father shows up now. So now I'm like, and Lucifer goes, I want you to belong to me. And God says, you don't have to belong to me, Nomsa. I love you. You're my child. I accept you for who you are as a child, as my child. Come to me with your burden. Everything, tears, rejection, whatever the pain you have, come to me as you are. Yes, Lucifer is telling me, Nomsa, I'm going to make you a millionaire. I was like, you know what? This part of I'm going to give you this, I'm going to give you this, is the part that I don't like. So I chose God. And that, since that day, I've never been so happy in my life. Even when life, it doesn't make sense because of my foundation. Even when life, it does not make sense, I'll still find something to laugh about because I know He loves me. And I know that I have accepted myself 100% for the person that I am. I don't have to pretend to be something that I'm not. I don't have to go on social media and pretend to be the image that I'm not. I don't have to do that because I know that if somebody that is higher, somebody that is the most of the highest, Jehovah El Shaddai, the God that actually send the angel Gabriel to Mary to actually, so Jesus to actually send that message that Mary will give birth to a child, and that child is going to be called Jesus, and that man is accepting me for who I am. So why do I need to worry about everybody else, what they think about me? So I realized I didn't have to worry about anybody anymore. I needed to create my foundation based on what I needed, where I needed to go, based on my talent, based on my clients, how I can add value to them. And adding value to them, it means I needed to get to know my personality. So that's how my foundation is. But it didn't end there because Lucifer was fighting me. Through that fight, I had to rediscover my roots. I had to discover so many things through that, which is another topic to talk about next time. I had to rediscover the roots of my problems, and the roots of my happiness, the roots of my parents. So I had to rediscover so many things. And through that journey, there were so many things that I had to deal with. I had to deal with the slavery when my ancestors went through slavery, because now Lucifer wasn't joking with me. So he was bringing every fight that he can get, every big thing, every fight that, or a small sin that my ancestors committed, or a small sin or big sin, whatever that he was committed by anybody in my bloodline, I had to pay the price. But guess what? That was okay, because my foundation, I was fighting to live the life, to be the person that I want to become as a person, and for my children as well, and for their children, their grandchildren. So those were the things that I had to deal with in my life. So you can do that as well by just reflect, create your values, create your goals, and also making sure that you deal with your personality and take side of some quiet time. The reason why I got this opportunity to actually get to know God and become the person that I wanted to become is setting time every single day and creating the life that I wanted to create. So you can do that as well by creating your life. And once you set aside your quiet time, challenge your beliefs is very, very important. To seek personal guidance, live your life based on your values and principles is very, very important. And make value-based decisions, and There's so many things that you can do. Maybe I will do part two next time. So if you are watching, you can follow us. You can follow Ngozi Talk Shows on YouTube, and please subscribe to our channel or share the talk if you want to. And you can go to a Unique Billionaire Mindset. I have a group there, and you can follow Ngozi Talk Shows. Ngozi Talk Shows group as well. And you can go to Hope Springs Eternal Introduction Agency, like my page, and Ngozi Talk Shows page, like the page there. And follow me on LinkedIn. I'm on Twitter, and I'm on Instagram as well. And if you follow me on Facebook, please, or if you follow me on any social media, send me a message as well, private. I reply to all my messages as long as they make sense. And also go to the website, www.hseia.com, Hope Spring Eternally Introduction Agency. And if you are single, please join the agency. If you are based in Europe, we cover all over the world, but in some countries, we cover South Africa, Kenya, Brazil, and Kenya, Brazil, Europe, where else? So we are a global company, so you can go and register. And once you register, you sign up. Register is private. It's an offline service. No one will see your profile, by the way. As long as you fit the requirement of the agency, you have to have a job. I don't match people that don't have a job. If you don't have a job, there's got to be an explanation why you haven't got a job. Because I work with people that create goals, and their goals, they have vision in life, and but if you've been laid off, you can sign up, it's fine. And so as long as you can explain that you've been laid off, is fine, and not somebody who is on benefits, because that means if you're on benefits and you don't work, that means that is your lifestyle of not wanting to become something. So I don't take those people. Not because I'm discriminating. In life, we all have destinies, and some people, they are on benefits because they are disabled, which is not their fault. But I don't take people that are disabled. But if you want to join the agency, you can join the agency. I work with other agencies that can help you. If you are disabled, they can help you specific, because I don't have experience dealing with people that are disabled. So you can actually, once you register, I'll take your application form, and then you connect you with the other matchmakers that deal with those kind of people. So there's different categories of people who are on benefits. Some people are on benefits because it's not their choice. So you can sign up for those people. We have agencies that deals with that. So I'll refer you to them, but I wouldn't be able to work with you, because for a disabled person, you need to understand their needs. There's paperwork that has to be put in place, health and safety, everything. So there are some specific matchmakers that are dealing with that. But for those who are lazy, who don't want to work, I've never had any matchmaker that deals with that. So God bless everyone. Live with grace.